The newly appointed female CEO at the company was preparing to hold a meeting. The waiting process was truly quite tedious. I lowered my head, sent a text to my girlfriend I met online. "I want to eat strawberries." Unexpectedly, the other party replied instantly. "Send me 5,000 yuan first. Buy and eat them. Later just pay me back with your neck." Looking at the cute emoji he sent, I couldn't help but burst into laughter. But I tried hard not to make a sound. But right at that moment, the colleagues beside me let out a series of cheers. I looked up as well, only to see on the large screen behind the female CEO, the chat application she was logged into, displaying the exact words my online boyfriend had just sent to me. And the profile picture of that female CEO was identical to the profile picture of my online boyfriend. On my phone, I couldn't help but take a sharp cold breath, quickly turned off my phone screen. The colleagues beside me with eager expressions crowded closer, staring at the fleeting chat interface of the female CEO, then whispering to each other, "Is that her boyfriend? These two are way too clingy. It's really killing me, this single dog." Yeah. Our female CEO even pinned that person as her top contact. And the note is, "Little darling, who would thought a boss with such a cold exterior could be so pure when alone?" Wait, didn't you guys notice? The profile picture of the boss boyfriend. Why does it look exactly like your soup dumpling? The colleagues around me slightly lowered their heads. In an instant, all the excited gazes turned toward me. I coughed awkwardly, pretending to be calm. I responded to them. "Maybe we just have similar tastes. We both think this profile picture is very handsome." It's completely a coincidence. A coincidence another person wanted to drag me into more teasing. But the female CEO, Willow Smoke, upfront coughed lightly twice. The entire meeting room instantly fell silent, and one slowly shifted my gaze toward Willow Smoke, who was leading the meeting. The complex feelings in my heart were hard to describe. No matter how I calculated it, I never expected the girlfriend I'd been chatting with online for so long was actually my newly arrived female CEO. One hand instinctively went to my nose. My eyes unblinking stared at Willow Smoke. That stern face. If I hadn't just seen the evidence on my phone with my own eyes, even if you beat me to death, I couldn't connect this woman, who seemed as untouchable as an icy mountain, with my online girlfriend. Thinking about it, Willow Smoke on the phone always calling me darling, with a soft tender voice. And then looking at Willow Smoke now, wearing gold-rimmed glasses, with bold red lipstick, and a decisive demeanor. Thinking about Willow Smoke, who used to frequently send me photos showing off her figure, that slender waist like a water snake, skin as white as reishi mushrooms. And then looking at Willow Smoke now dressed in formal attire, with elegant gestures. This stark contrast left me stunned in my heart. I stared intently at Willow Smoke. As a result, carelessly, Willow Smoke suddenly turned her head. Those amber eyes shimmering with light met mine directly. She slightly furrowed her brow, looked straight at me. Her fingers absent-mindedly tapped on the table, on and off, and my heart pounded so hard, I almost forgot to breathe. In that moment, only one thought remained in my heart. This was the only thought left in her heart. This online romance couldn't go on anymore. If Willow Smoke found out it was me, this job would definitely be lost. Luckily, Leo Great pushed me. He almost shook me awake. Lowering his voice as much as possible, he called, soup dumpling. Your phone's ringing. CEO Willow has called your name several times already." So I hurriedly lowered my head, fumbled to turn off my phone. After the meeting ended, I was like a fugitive, quickly fleeing the scene. My mind filled only with thoughts of how to escape this situation of dating my boss. I opened the chat with Willow Smoke, started racking my brain thinking of ways to say goodbye, typing and deleting and typing. But I still couldn't piece together those words. Willow Smoke as if she had a hand right in front of my chat window. During the 1 hour and 36 minutes I hesitated, she suddenly sent me a message. "Good darling, what's wrong with you? Is there something you want to tell me? You know, I saw you typing a message for a long time now since we're in this relationship. Is there anything we can't talk about? I looked at the head patting emoji that Willow Smoke sent. A storm surged in my heart. Seeing I didn't reply, Willow Smoke seemed very uneasy. She started bombarding me with questions. Is it because I sent you 5,000 yuan today? Do you think it's too little? Besides strawberries, what else do you want to eat? I'll send you a bit more. Buy whatever you want. Absolutely don't skimp on money. Right after she said that, Willow Smoke immediately sent me another 50,000 yuan, with a special note below stating it was a voluntary gift. My eyes suddenly welled up. The money she sent me, I never took a single cent, but she always thought I was reluctant to spend it. And the next time she sent even more than before. Just 2 days ago, we were excitedly discussing meeting in person, but now things had turned out like this. How was I supposed to say goodbye? When I was so frustrated, I felt like I'd explode. My mom's call came through. As expected, it was about urging me to get married. I rubbed my face irritably, answered half-heartedly. When I opened the chat again, during the time I had responded, Willow Smoke sent a long series of messages. She sent lots of emojis peeking to see if I was there, asking what was making me unhappy. Finally, she said, I told my grandpa about us. Let's meet soon. I'll bring my darling boyfriend to meet grandpa. Is that okay? Willow Smoke was truly too good. I couldn't keep delaying her anymore, gritting my teeth. I made up my mind. Resolutely sent the message I'd been thinking about all night. No, we should break up. After the message was sent, Willow Smoke didn't text me back all night. I lay in bed clutching my phone, tossing and turning, unable to stop reviewing our past chat messages. A dull pain spread through my heart. But when I thought of her being the CEO of my company, I kept telling myself, this was the right thing to do. The next day, I went to work with huge dark circles under my eyes. Leo Great took a sudden leave, asked me to review a bunch of videos for him. I agreed, sat in front of the computer, watching those videos, sliding through one by one like an assembly line. Suddenly, a woman in black stockings started swaying her body on the big screen, looking very seductive. This must be a sensitive video. I had to send it back. I sighed, and my mind suddenly recalled Willow Smoke. A month ago, she sent me. I sighed, and my mind suddenly recalled Willow Smoke. A month ago, she sent me that video. Back then, she was abroad. It was snowing outside. In the video she sent, it only briefly showed a corner of her snow-white clothing. Clearly, there was nothing inappropriate, but paired with her charming laughter, it made my heart melt into a puddle. Lost in thought for a moment, my pen suddenly caught a faint scent of jasmine. I didn't dare turn around, because I could already feel Willow Smoke's hair almost brushing against my cheek, her delicate chin almost touching my shoulder. When did she get here? I was momentarily stunned, only hearing my heart pounding wildly. Willow Smoke let out a soft sigh, her hands behind her back, slightly leaning down toward me, then said during work hours, "What are you watching?" Her voice carried a hint of fatigue. I don't know how in just a second I caught it. I hurriedly turned off the video in a panic. Deliberately avoiding Willow Smoke's gaze, I replied, "Boss, Leo Great took leave today. I'm reviewing videos for him. This video doesn't meet the requirements." Willow Smoke nodded. Just as she was about to turn and leave, my phone on the desk lit up. Because of a push notification, the glittering god of wealth wallpaper instantly caught Willow Smoke's eye. Her waist about to straighten paused slightly. Her gaze lingered on my phone. She slowly turned her head to look at me, her voice trembling slightly, carrying a faint trace of hope. "You like this too?" My heart screamed that this wasn't good. This wallpaper I had sent to Willow Smoke before. That time we chatted until 3 a.m. She casually asked what I liked most. I sent a screenshot of the wallpaper, along with a praying emoji, cheerfully replying, "I like the god of wealth the most." I never expected such a simple conversation, less than 3 minutes long. She would remember and recognize this image so quickly. Feeling guilty, I wanted to grab my phone, but Willow Smoke deliberately pressed closer to me. She smoothly turned my office chair in another direction, making me face her, then crossed her arms with a cold expression. But the faint red veins under her eyes betrayed her. I tried to avoid her gaze, but her high heel kicked, the wheel of my chair spinning it back forcefully. She said, "Maybe you know someone." Willow Smoke slightly raised her brow. Her aura was truly overwhelming. Though she didn't say much, the atmosphere dropped to freezing, and the colleagues around us lowered their heads, pretending to work diligently. It seemed everyone agreed I was about to get a serious lesson from this icy CEO. Only a fool would come to gossip at a time like this. I was forced to face her. As soon as I looked up, I could clearly see the faint dark circles from her sleepless night. I still chose to deflect, rubbing my nose trying to brush it off. How could that be? In just a small employee, as small as it gets. How could I know someone CEO Willow knows? We're not even in the same world. CEO Willow, you're overestimating me. Willow Smoke suddenly looked me up and down, immediately showing a look of disappointment. She tilted her head slightly, staring at me without hiding it, then said softly, "You and the photos he sent me before are almost identical." With a disappointed expression, she tilted her head slightly, staring at me without concealment, softly saying, "You and the photos he sent me before. Even the profile and nose are very similar. My boyfriend also likes this God of Wealth picture. He sent it to me too. If you listen closely, I feel like your voices are very similar too." Could it be? Her voice was neither loud nor soft, just enough for me to hear clearly. I awkwardly turned my chair, wanting to immediately find a crack in the floor to crawl into, silently chanting 100 times, "Please don't recognize me. Don't let it end like this. Don't lose my job like this." At that moment, Willow Smoke's pale lotus-like arm suddenly pressed down on the edge of the desk, restricting my range of movement. A strand of her hair slid down her neck. She slightly lowered her head, looking at me with glistening eyes, her lips even carrying a hint of sulking. My heart felt like it was about to leap out of my chest. My Adam's apple involuntarily swallowed. Could it be that you two have very similar personalities? It's a pity I've never seen a frontal photo of my boyfriend. Otherwise, I'm sure I could recognize him at first glance. Right, never mind that. Since you two are so similar, can you tell me why a man would suddenly want to break up? Willow Smoke, with her usually serious demeanor, now looked at me with glistening, aggrieved eyes, her tone strangely stubborn yet adorable, using a voice only the two of us could hear, softly asking me. In that moment, I even wanted to stand up and hold her tightly in my arms. Moreover, her expression at that moment was hidden by a strand of hair, so only I facing her could see it. I really almost wanted to frantically turn back time and delete that breakup message I sent, but the words stuck in my throat. Reason pulled me back to reality. I still chose to cruelly push her away. Breakup maybe because he doesn't love you anymore, or he's tired of you. Willow Smoke suddenly furrowed her brows tightly. Her eyes instantly reddened. She looked disappointed, like a little rabbit with drooping ears. She muttered, "Is that so?" Perhaps afraid I'd see her disheveled face as tears fell, damaging her image as a boss. In less than 3 seconds, Willow Smoke immediately turned her back to me. She clenched her fists tightly, walked on her high heels, quickly retreating to her office until I left work. I didn't see her come out again. After returning home, I kept staring at my phone. Willow Smoke's side kept showing, typing for a long time, very long after. She seemed to muster immense courage to send me a message, "Do you hate me? If not, why suddenly want to break up?" Against my conscience, I quickly replied to her with one word, "Yeah." Willow Smoke immediately responded, "What do you hate about me? Is it because I'm too dumb, or usually not attentive enough? Tell me I can change." Willow Smoke was perfect in every way. What was there to change? I couldn't think of how to respond to her. But Willow Smoke thought I hated her to the core, anxiously sending a flurry of messages. Am I too clingy, making you feel suffocated? Or do you think I'm too ugly, so you don't want to meet in person? Or maybe I usually don't care about your feelings and impose what I like on you, making you feel annoyed. The more Willow Smoke said, the more I felt I wasn't human. I had to end things with her soon. I couldn't keep hurting her, so I gritted my teeth and decisively made up a reason that any woman would despise. It's not that. It's because I'm already married and I have a son. Willow Smoke never texted me again. The next day at work, her entire being seemed drained of spirit, utterly defeated. She wore sunglasses, a tight dress, bright red lipstick, still looking like an incredibly cool ice queen. But anyone who got close to her could feel the heartbreak emanating from her. I knew clearly in my heart the mastermind behind all this was me. I felt terrible, not even a shred of desire to talk, and tried my best to avoid Willow Smoke. As a result, in a daze, I somehow agreed to Leaf Wall's request to help him hand over a project. When I was pushed into Willow Smoke's office by him and asked to add Willow Smoke's contact information to complete the task, I realized, but it was too late. Actually, I can't do it. Brother Leaf finds someone else. I grabbed the door handle wanting to slip away, but Leaf Wall pressed firmly on my shoulder. With a cheerful smile pushed me in front of Willow Smoke. He even laughed heartily saying, "CEO Willow, Soup Dumpling's abilities are top-notch. Hand this task to him. You can be 100 assured." Now at each other's contact info, Willow Smoke was still wearing sunglasses, sitting in front of her rosewood desk, only nodding perfunctorily, then reaching out to open her phone. She didn't say anything, indicating for me to add her. How could I dare? If I scanned that code, wouldn't I be completely exposed? Everything would be revealed. I was so anxious I was sweating, my brain practically steaming, finally coming up with a clumsy excuse. I pretended to say, "CEO Willow, my account has been having some issues lately. Can't add friends. How about in a few days? Once it's fixed, I'll add you." In my mind, I was already planning to quickly create a secondary account, but good old Brother Lee directly stood in front of me. "CEO Willow, no problem, I'll send his info to you." With that, Leaf Wall sent my contact card in one go. Just then someone outside called for him. He immediately turned and left, and I could only mechanically turn my head, looking at Willow Smoke, who was tapping her fingers nonstop on the desk. My legs started trembling. Haha, CEO Willow, what a coincidence. Only now realizing we're already friends. Haha, the atmosphere instantly froze. Willow Smoke stood up abruptly. She walked on her high heels step by step toward me, while I clenched my fists, retreating nonstop, backing up until I hit the corner of the wall. With no more room to retreat, Willow Smoke raised an arm, pinning me against the wall. She reached up to slightly pull down her sunglasses, carefully grasping a corner of my shirt, her lips drooping, her voice hoarse, carrying a hint of a sob. "Soup Dumpling, my boyfriend on the phone is really you. Where do you think you can run now? And all those things you said on the phone last night, were they all lies? Weren't they?" Willow Smoke blinked her swollen, cried-out eyes, stubbornly demanding an answer from me. I panicked, avoiding Willow Smoke's direct gaze, my heart in complete chaos, momentarily a jumbled mess. My fingers clenched tighter, mechanically turning my head to the side. Momentarily a jumbled mess. My fingers clenched tighter, mechanically turning my head to the side, instinctively wanting to be a deserter again. But Willow Smoke wouldn't allow it. She took out her phone, her chest heaving with sobs. She scrolled through endless messages, and the past that belonged only to the two of us. Willow Smoke, crying, questioned me. "You were clearly so good to me before. We got along so well. You expressed your love so passionately before. Was it all fake? You stayed up all night to listen to my troubles. Was that fake too? You timed it perfectly, sending me red envelopes and blessings every second. Was that fake too? Soup Dumpling, was all the love you showed me before fake? It wasn't fake." Willow Smoke questioned me, and a voice in my heart immediately answered. Those things weren't fake. I had genuinely wanted to get to know her, carefully considered her, and been deeply drawn to her. But When faced with such dramatic obstacles in reality, I still couldn't stop hesitating. I wavered intensely, looking at Willow Smoke crying. I wanted to reach out and wipe away the tears at the corners of her eyes. But with what right? Could I wipe her tears? I was just an ordinary employee. My fingers paused in midair, forced by reason to pull my hand back. And Willow Smoke's gaze went from a fleeting moment of surprise to clear disappointment and dimness. She sniffled, like she did on the phone. Using a soft coaxing tone with me, she grabbed my hand and placed it on her cheek. That warm, soft cheek pressed against my palm. My heart instantly melted to pieces. Ironically, Willow Smoke, with her beautiful face, gently rubbed against my palm, while looking up softly saying, "Soup dumpling, what are you so afraid of? So why did you suddenly want to break up with me? I checked your file. You're clearly not married, no kids. Why did you lie to me? If I hadn't been exposed by adding your contact today, if I hadn't been suspicious and looked into it that day, would you have kept avoiding me forever? Are you afraid I don't love you? Or are you afraid meeting in person would create a generational gap? No way! We've been in love online for so long, gone through so many days and nights. I love you so deeply. Don't abandon me. If I did something wrong, can you tell me?" The more Willow Smoke spoke, the more aggrieved she became, talking as if she'd never tire, endlessly showing that pitiful look, tears streaming down nonstop. I was heartbroken to death, mustering all my courage to reach up and wipe her tears. Just as I was about to pull her into my arms to comfort her, the office door was suddenly knocked on. Leaf Wall, who had just brought me in, shouted loudly, "Soup dumpling, your son seems to have brought your wife to find you. Is there something you need to explain?" As soon as those words were said, Willow Smoke and I instantly froze. My brain started running at 360 miles per second, reaching its limit. Wife and son, since when did I have them? Where did they come from? Why didn't I know? Could my mouth be that prophetic? The lie I used to force Willow Smoke to break up actually came true. My whole body felt numb. Willow Smoke's chest heaved intensely as she looked at me. She clenched her fingers tightly, like someone who'd been stabbed. My whole body felt numb. Willow Smoke's chest heaved intensely as she looked at me. She clenched her fingers tightly, like a deflated balloon, staggering to pull away from me. Leafwall was still knocking on the door outside. Willow Smoke looked at me in disbelief, the pain on her face impossible to hide. She was in utter agony, but still pretended to be strong, letting out a hum, pretending nothing was wrong, putting her sunglasses back on, hiding her eyes that had cried too much. She turned her back to me and waved helplessly. "HMPH, I misjudged you. So you really are a scumbag. Your file says unmarried, no kids. But in reality, you're toying with another woman." I was speechless, desperately wanting to prove my innocence, shouting, "I don't have any. I don't even know when I got a wife or a kid besides loving you. I've been single since the womb. Always kept myself pure, okay?" Willow Smoke didn't believe me and scoffed, turning her back to me while shrugging. I took a deep breath, forcefully yanked the door handle, wanting to go out and see what kind of monster fell from the sky and dumped this huge pile of blame on my head. As soon as I stepped out, that familiar chubby little thing, Little Lucky, looked at me with teary eyes. Without a word, opened his arms and rushed toward me, his mouth shouting loudly, "Dad, Dad, I missed you so much. That damn Little Lucky." I opened my mouth, about to scold him. "Don't just call your neighbor Uncle Dad, even though I'm usually close with your real dad. That doesn't mean I can be your dad." But my words didn't even make it past my throat before blurting out, "Oh." Willow Smoke lowered her head, sneaking a glance at me from the door, immediately sentencing me to death. She crossed her arms and walked past me, without hesitation kicking my knee, her voice cold and decisive. "HMPH, the company has someone who abandons his wife and kid and doesn't acknowledge his 6 relatives like you. Truly the scum of humanity." Her words were very public. The entire office took a collective cold breath, watching me pathetically kneel on one knee. Willow Smoke adjusted her sunglasses, letting her hair flutter, decisively turning to leave. While some colleagues started munching on sunflower seeds, others held their cups, turning to look at me like a big family drama had just raised its curtain. In the miserable lives of us workers, a real clown had finally appeared to bring them a bit of joy. I didn't have the courage to face those bloodthirsty gazes, only gritted my teeth, unable to speak. Pushing away little Lucky, who was clinging tightly to my leg, I interrogated the little brat. How did you find this place? And when did I become your dad? And my wife, where did she come from? Are you trying to ruin me? Little Lucky tried hard to squeeze out tears, even raising an eyebrow, signaling to me. The woman covering her mouth at the door. Oh God, I quickly realized. This woman was the homeroom teacher. Last time little Lucky asked me to attend a parent-teacher meeting, she was the one leading it. So little Lucky got into trouble again, didn't dare tell his parents, and directly brought the teacher to the company to find me his fake dad. And that caused this whole series of misunderstandings. Sure enough, as I grabbed little Lucky by the ear, the homeroom teacher at the door stepped forward with a serious expression. Student Little said. Student Little Lucky ate snacks during class, broke a window after school, and ran out during break to confess to a girl. I said I wanted to visit his home, and the kid directly brought me to the company. So Little Lucky's dad, are you usually too busy with work, completely neglecting your child's well-being? The teacher's words were like a beam of justice, striking me directly. Little Lucky grabbed my shirt, crying until snot and tears mixed. An 8-year-old kid, already skilled at playing the pitiful child. What teacher my dad works so hard for my future? Don't criticize him anymore. I won't do it again. Dad apologized to the teacher for me. Can we let this go? Student Little Lucky clasped his hands together, begging and bowing to me repeatedly. He even mouthed a promise that if I pulled this off, he'd give me 10 lollipops and 5 packs of spicy noodles as payment for playing his old dad. While the colleagues watched with relish, they simply started commenting. So Soup Dumpling usually pretends so well. He's actually like this. Yeah, Soup Dumpling has a family behind our backs and doesn't even care about his kid. Wait, didn't you guys notice? Soup Dumpling's surname is Soup, but his kid's surname is Little. Could it be? There's a secret no one knows. The colleagues' eyes blazed with gossip, piercing into me. I couldn't take it anymore. I had to prove my innocence. I made a phone call to Little Lucky's parents, one hand holding the wriggling kid's head tightly, the other using all my strength to shout, "Come give your kid a full-in beating. If you don't come, I won't be able to live on this planet anymore." Little Lucky's parents were always very efficient. The two of them, wearing mink coats, holding leather whips, quickly rushed to our company. Little Lucky, you dare randomly claim a dad? His real dad's eyes bulged. His mom rolled up her sleeves ready for a big fight. Their efficiency was incredible. In less than half an hour, this disastrous misunderstanding was cleared up. After enjoying a spicy feast of whipped flesh, Little Lucky, tears streaming, bowed his head and apologized. The teacher to finally left with Little Lucky's family, and one could finally hold my head high and be human again. You worked hard. Leaf, while having watched a great show, passed by me, seriously patting my shoulder, his eyes full of gratitude for the joy I brought them. I suddenly remembered. It was this damn messenger who just shouted at Willow Smoke at the door that my wife and kid had come HMPH. So, would Willow Smoke still want to know the truth now that I never loved anyone else, never betrayed her, and didn't have a wife or kid? I only loved her. Would she still want that? My gaze lingered on my phone screen, falling into deep silence. I thought about this for a day and a night, but the explanation never came out because I kept thinking I should take advantage of Willow Smoke's love for me, not being too deep yet, and not step into her life anymore. Maybe she was just momentarily intrigued by my novelty and was willing to lower herself to love someone like me, and I, lucky enough to love her, should already feel content and grateful. And I, lucky enough to love her, should already feel content and grateful. A boss with hundreds of millions in assets, and me, a person living off a measly monthly salary. In the end, we're not from the same world. Utterly dejected, I lay in bed, flipping through Willow Smoke's social media. Looking at every status she posted, I was like a thief, relying on secretly peeking at her beauty to gain the strength to be happy, wallowing in thoughts about everything between us. Only able to hide in the shadows, unable to stop, but unable to stand out openly. I even thought about the next day at the company, how to avoid an awkward encounter with her. As a result, Willow Smoke didn't come at all. The third day, she didn't come either. The fourth day, still no sign of her. By the fifth day, I looked at her unchanged status and social media, finally unable to hold back. I secretly found Willow Smoke's secretary, Susie Profit, to ask, why hasn't CEO Willow come to the company lately? A trace of regret flashed across Susie Profit's face. She hissed a few times, saying, I don't know what shock CEO Willow went through. Since leaving the company that day, she went home and stopped eating and drinking, locking herself in her room every day. Then her body couldn't take it anymore. She got very sick. Now she's getting for drips at the hospital. Oh right, since you're here, please help me put this forgotten file in CEO Willow's office, on the third shelf of the second bookcase on the right. Okay. Susie Profit's words hit me like lightning, though I didn't see it with my own eyes. Just thinking in my mind about Willow Smoke's frail appearance when sick made my heart ache endlessly. I sighed. Following her request, I placed the file in the bookcase. My eyes inadvertently glanced and saw an exquisitely wrapped gift box nearby. My heart nearly stopped because it clearly read, "To my good boyfriend Soup Dumpling, with love." Though I knew touching someone else's things without permission wasn't right, but it clearly said it was for Willow Smoke's good boyfriend, for Soup Dumpling, so it was for me. Looking at it shouldn't be a problem. I held my disobedient heart, carefully bent down, picked up the gift box and started looking. Soon I saw inside was an exquisite toy model, a tiny human figurine, a Porsche car key, and even property deeds. Among countless gifts, there was also a card. It read, I don't know if my good boyfriend is you or not, but my soul has already decided it's you. Could I guess wrong? Someone who loves you so much, how could they be wrong? I saw that God of Wealth wallpaper today. I don't know if I guessed right either. But anyway, my good boyfriend, you said you never received birthday gifts before. It'll make up for all the birthday gifts you missed out on. Will you be a bit happier? Will you love me a bit more? I don't know. I don't know anything. I only know I love you so much. That's the only thing I'm sure of, no doubt. The delicate handwriting was etched deeply on the card. I held it with both hands, trembling nonstop. My heart surged with waves of bitterness. Tears couldn't be held back, dripping down one by one. Willow Smoke. Willow Smoke had taken 99 steps toward me. It seemed she loved me even more than I imagined. If I let this love go unreturned, I knew I'd regret it later. I knew I'd regret it later. If I let this love go unreturned, I knew I'd regret it later. So while no one was around, I pathetically wiped away my snot and tears, timing it for after work hours. I picked up my phone and rushed to the supermarket. Bought a big bag of various nutritional foods, then kept running to the hospital where Willow Smoke was. Willow Smoke. This time I'll bravely walk toward you too. CEO Willow. Which room is she in? Okay, thank you, Secretary Susie. I confirmed the information over the phone, but my feet stopped at the door. Willow Smoke's hospital room. Suddenly losing the courage to step inside, I inhaled and exhaled, pacing in circles at the door, rehearsing how I'd talk once I went in. My mind was a mess, completely directionless, my hand raised and lowered, about to try knocking for the 28th time. When the door slowly opened, I saw Willow Smoke with a frail expression, one hand on her stomach, one hand leaning against the doorframe. When she saw me, her eyes quickly flashed a hint of surprise. Her lips curled up for a few seconds. But soon, her expression turned cold again. Why are you here? She only glanced at me coldly, without saying another word, and my neck instantly flushed red. Seeing her struggle to stand, I quickly placed all the nutritional items in my hands into the room, then immediately ran to her side, supporting her arm, carefully saying, "CEO Willow, I heard you were sick. I came specially to visit you. Where do you want to go? I'll support you." Willow Smoke wanted to go to the bathroom, so I helped her go, and helped her back, watching her struggle to lie down in pain. During this time, she didn't say another word to me, cold as if I was a complete non-entity. I anxiously rubbed my hands, feeling every minute and second was torture. This wasn't working. Maybe I should just stand up and leave. As soon as I stood up, Willow Smoke immediately grabbed my sleeve. Her cheeks showed a suspicious flush. Clearly, she still had that cold communarm vibe, but I felt in her tone a hint of probing and clinging. She said, "Where are you going? Is this what you came to the hospital for? Just to look and leave?" So I sat back down, knowing full well she must hate me to death right now. But my eyes couldn't help but look at her. I stared at her, looking at her pale, gaunt face. I remembered the pain she'd endured these past days, and all this guilt was because of me. The more I thought about what I'd done, the more I thought about the little things she did for me, the more my heart ached dully. Be brave. A voice in my heart was telling me that. As soon as I opened my mouth, "Will you come take care of me tomorrow too?" Willow Smoke's ears turned red, clumsily turning her face away, softly saying to me. In that moment, I even doubted I'd misheard. I looked at her in disbelief, like in a dream, asking again, "What did you say?" Willow Smoke proudly pulled her hand back, crossing her arms. "Come or not, up to you. I'm just too lonely by myself. Doing things alone is hard. I'm giving you a chance to take care of me. You better not be ungrateful." Willow Smoke now was a bit like a proud little cat. The corners of my mouth curled up unconsciously. I couldn't help asking her, "You don't hate me anymore. You don't dislike me anymore. Have you forgotten about my wife and kid?" Willow Smoke was speechless and rolled her eyes, shaking her phone, weakly replying to me, "Please. I'm a CEO. Of course I keep close tabs on company matters, okay?" I nodded frantically. Willow Smoke, too tired to keep going, said she wanted to sleep, told me to leave first. And as soon as I stepped out of the hospital room, Willow Smoke buried her head in the blanket, starting to roll around wildly. Because of my appearance, her heart was so excited it wanted to jump out of her chest. It took her a while to calm down. Leaning against the pillow, sitting up halfway, her gaze drifted to the hospital bed beside her. There, a boy with both arms bandaged, unable to eat on his own, and his girlfriend, with a heartbroken expression, cooling each spoonful of food, patiently feeding him. With such treatment, Willow Smoke's eyes moved to the scissors in the drawer. Almost without hesitation, she cut a line on her hand. The next day, I eagerly ran to the hospital room, but as soon as I entered, I saw Willow Smoke's hand wrapped tightly in white gauze. She sat there obediently, like she was eagerly waiting for someone. When I got close to her, Willow Smoke looked up, smiling brightly at me, but immediately returned to her cold demeanor, asking me finally, "Here, huh?" I nodded, then saw Willow Smoke pitifully staring at her stomach. She sighed, then shifted her gaze to the lunchbox beside her. "Haze. Yesterday during the they messed up my right hand. It bled a lot. Today I can't move it anymore." I also noticed Willow Smoke, because of this sudden injury, looked even paler. What kind of novice nurse did this? I'd have to file a complaint. Willow Smoke pouted, looking at me aggrieved. Then at the lunchbox. "It's a pity I don't know how to eat with my left hand." "No way," I immediately volunteered. "I'll do it. I'll take care of you." I picked up the lunchbox, blew on it to cool it down, then slowly brought a spoonful of food to Willow Smoke's mouth. Willow Smoke's eyes curved with a smile, stuffing her mouth full, satisfied. Each bite she'd look up at me, her head swaying happily. This vaguely made me feel Willow Smoke. Did she feel particularly clever, like she'd secretly planned something? and after executing it perfectly felt very smug, so strangely adorable. But why did I feel this way? I wasn't sure, and didn't bother to investigate. As I continued bringing a spoonful of food to Willow Smoke's mouth, she nodded satisfied, her hair brushing across my wrist, making my heart itch. For as long as I'm here, you'll come take care of me, right? Before I left, Willow Smoke asked me that. I didn't hesitate for a second. Patting my chest, I answered her, of course. And then I discovered Willow Smoke's body seemed unusually weak. One hospital stay was about to drag on for a whole month. I, as usual, carried a full lunchbox, heading toward the hospital. At the corner, my feet stopped because of some discussions. A group of nurses was chatting there. One of them, laughing and covering her mouth, said, "That patient named Willow Smoke. Isn't she a bit silly?" As soon as those words were said, "That patient named Willow Smoke. Isn't she a bit silly?" As soon as those words were said, I almost rushed up to fight them, but the words that followed made my eyes instantly well up. I heard them say, "Yeah, that girl clearly only needed a week of 4 drips to recover, but she insisted on staying in the hospital, refusing to leave. What does she gain from it? Paying extra money and staying in a hospital room. Really incomprehensible. A beautiful girl. It's a pity her brain's a bit off." They didn't understand, but I understood immediately. Willow Smoke was using a clumsy, yet discreet way to keep me by her side, wanting me to stay with her more, wanting me to take care of her more. But because I'd mentioned breaking up before, she didn't dare to openly express her love for me like before. That silly girl. I held back my tears, quickly walked toward the hospital room. Willow Smoke was still eagerly looking toward my arrival. Seeing me come in, she quickly hid her satisfied expression, replacing it with a cold one, as if pretending like this I wouldn't push her away. Hey, before Willow Smoke could finish, I opened my arms and hugged her tightly. I held her in my arms, saying, "Willow Smoke, I like you." I said it with a trembling voice. Willow Smoke's eyes suddenly widened. She looked up, even forgetting to breathe. "Willow Smoke, I saw the gift box you placed in the office. I also know everything you've done for me. Before, I was always afraid I wasn't worthy of you, afraid I'd hold you back, afraid you only liked me for a short while, and afraid I'd lose my job. But now, as I said this, the hospital room door was flung open with a thud. Colleagues from the company holding gifts crowded at the door. "CEO Willow, we heard you're about to be discharged." Their upbeat tone suddenly dropped significantly. Leaf Wall standing at the front. From his angle, it looked like I was leaning down to kiss Willow Smoke. The colleagues at the door immediately burst into laughter, grinning from ear to ear, one hand pretending to cover their eyes in panic, shouting, sorry, we interrupted." No wonder Soup Dumpling's been so diligent lately, while secretly peeking through their fingers. When the door closed, Willow Smoke and I, blushing red, quickly pulled apart. Just then, my mom called again. "Soup Dumpling, you've been single for so many years. Why haven't you brought a girlfriend home for mom?" "No luck at all. If it really doesn't work, this year mom will make sure you go on blind dates until you puke, or maybe have you drink some holy water, or find a shaman to check you out. If that doesn't work," I decisively cut off my mom. Willow Smoke quickly snatched the phone from my hand. She tilted her head, smiling brightly at my mom. "Soup Dumpling's about to have a wife. From now on, he'll have plenty. My car, my house, my savings, my company, and my love too. Most importantly, it'll completely belong to Soup Dumpling. For this lifetime, he can't abandon me anymore." As Willow Smoke spoke, she stood on tiptoes and kissed my cheek. She hugged my arm, rubbing her cheek against it, then asked, "So Soup Dumpling, before we go home, are you willing as my boyfriend to meet my grandpa with me?" I leaned down, kissing her deeply in return, "Of course, my good girlfriend, am deeply honored."